Welcome to today's podcast. This is podcast number 1. Can you briefly give us an introduction of yourself?
Okay, my name is Solomon Masai Mutunga. I was born in the year 1965. Married, one wife,
Yes.
automatically a female. I'm a father of 3,
Yes.
one boy and 2 girls. And I'm a teacher in profession. I started teaching in the year 1988. Up to date.
Up to date.
Yes.
That is a long time. So take us back in when did you develop the passion for teaching?
Actually, I was not a born teacher.
A born teacher?
Because I did something which was not related to teaching. Done agriculture, I had to go for postgraduate diploma. And then from there I developed the interest in the job with time.
With time.
And then I can say I'm a very experienced teacher.
Up to date.
Yes.
So now after you went for, you completed agriculture and then you went for the postgraduate later.
Yes.
So after postgraduate is when you went to your first station or you were posted directly to a secondary school?
Yeah, straight from college to that new station. That was in 1988, 1st of May.
1st of May.
Yes, 1988.
You were coming directly from school and then you were posted immediately?
Direct from college. You would pick the posting letter from the dean's office.
I wish now it's like that.
Yeah, it used to be very, very easy.
It's very much easy. So which was your first station?
My first station was at Okia Girls, which is in Makueni County.
In Makueni County.
Yes, where I stayed for a period of 10 years. Then from there I went to Changoli Secondary School.
Before we go to Changoli, I want to know about Ukia. When you first arrived there, how did you find the place? How were the teachers the first day?
Okay, about the Ukia Girls, one, it was a big school because by then it had from 1 up to 46.
Okay.
And the majority of the teachers were actually mature. I was among the very young ones. So they inspired me.
Okay.
Not only in teaching, but in the wide area of life.
Yes.
Yes. So it was a new environment, but through my colleagues and also the students who were all girls, boarding. Then I started having interest in the teaching profession.
Yes.
Yes.
So how did some of them inspire you? You can just describe.
Okay, there is somebody who was known as Mukasa. A guy who was who was a Ugandan, and he was a refugee. During the time of Amin, they were chased.
Okay.
But because of the chaos, they became refugees.
Okay.
And he told me that by that time, he was a provincial commissioner. Nowadays in Kenya we have the regional coordinators.
Okay.
At that time they were PC, so he was a PC. And then he would give me his experience as a PC and what happened.
Okay.
So he told me that a person should prepare himself or herself for good or for us, because he could not have imagined to be in that rural area, teaching in a secondary school far away from Nairobi. He had known Nairobi when he was at PC. So from there he would give me his experiences, and from there I learned a lot.
You learned a lot.
Yes, then there was another gentleman, Mr. Mweke, was teaching physics, and he had a very good poultry house with very many birds. He had kept some very good dairy animals, and because I'm also in the field of agriculture. I admire it. And then I practice what I saw in this place. Yeah, through his insights.
Yes.
Then I developed that interest.
That interest.
Yes.
So what exactly was he doing? Because he was a teacher, we need to know what he was doing.
Okay, Mr. Mweke was just from around.
Yes.
That is in work from home. And by that time, we had known these very many regulations of you have to stay in the station from 8 to 5. The issue was you are done with your lesson, you would go and do your things, whether in or outside the school. Yes.
So he used to?
He used to, after he's through the lessons, he would go to his farm, he get a pickup, he would go and buy feed stuff for animals, and if there are some animals requiring the attention of the veterinary doctor or technicians, he will be there.
So he had many animals?
He had very many animals. Yes.
Within the school compound or in his farm?
No, in his farm, which was also neighboring
the school, which was okay. So why did you stay for 10 years in Kia?
Just the normal policies of TSC. That is when you apply for a transfer, then you are told to wait for a suitable replacement.
Did you have challenges when you were that young? The first challenges that you got and how you dealt with them?
Yeah. One. So I was telling you that when I was posted there, I was young and restless.
Yes.
And there were no these social amenities like where we could go and have fun.
Yes.
Like good eateries, like what can I say, like gyms.
Yes.
And all that.
Yes.
And I had very many high expectations where I thought I would find life just like where I came from, straight from Colin.
Yes.
Or my nearby town, Machakos.
Yes.
So that is one thing which made me not be that happy. And I immediately started looking for a transfer. And then it was not forthcoming. Then one day we attended a games meeting at a school known as St. Florence Zoo. And we had taken a team of athletes.
Yes.
And then we arranged that because the school bus was very small, then driver to take the first bunch of students back to school, and then he comes for us.
Yes.
Then it was after that, that was in the year 1994. No, 96. No, 94. 1994. And then on our way back, we had a very fatal accident. We lost 2 colleagues who were seriously injured.
You were there in the second trip?
Yeah, I was there. We were just 6 of us. 2 left us, 2 seriously injured. It was only me and the driver who had slight injuries. But only the driver who had slight. I have a very big scar here. And after that, it's a long story. We did not look for those transfers we had to be given. Because there were a lot of chaos in the school about us. The students wanted to see us. They complained seriously about the administration. And then after that, we were transferred.
You were transferred?
Yes, that's where I landed. That's how I landed at Changoli High School.
Oh, so before Changoli still in this accident. So the first trip, how many left first, and then you were
what we did, there was a music festival at Water. And the Kavieko was one.
Yes.
And with the music festival, we have a large group of students. So we go for several trips.
Yes.
I tend to think the driver was fatigued.
Yes.
Then we were the last to be picked.
Okay.
And we said, because it was a small van, let the students be dropped, and then we be the last
one.
so that we don't actually interfere with the smooth running of the school,
So
like the preps and all that.
So there were no students?
There were no students, we were all teachers. 5 teachers and the driver.
And the driver?
Yes.
So who rescued you?
Were
you told, or were you at least cautious?
I was conscious. But when I saw, one of my colleagues lying on a rock which we hit, and then he was dead, then I became unconscious. So we were picked. I found myself in the theater, in the hospital. And then I looked for the others. I was told by a certain man that 2 succumbed, and the others were just 3 beds from mine, but I could not see them. One being now the current Machakos prepared sector. We were in that cafe.
Hey, that was
It was like that. So, who rescued us? You had asked me that.
Yes.
See, we had those festivals, music.
Yes.
So, the students from that school, we had the athletics, the Zio girls. They had also a team of the music festival. And then when they were taking their students back from the festival, is when they found the accident, which was just 300 meters from their school. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was. That is after the accident now.
Yeah.
The first person to see is your colleague, the one who was on the stone.
And then was Mr. Mulwa from just here. Vet Hughes. And he was my friend.
And he was your friend?
Yes.
So how long did you take before you got out of the hospital?
We were taken to water. Now I tend to think it's Makwen now level 5.
Yes. And
by that time it was a very local hospital.
Okay.
Because of one, lack of water. And we had no personnel.
Okay. So
because I was teaching in a school which was sponsored by the SCK Anglican Church, then they organized a ferry and an ambulance. Then I brought to. By then, it was what? Bishop. Now the current Bishop Kyoko. They used to be what was what? Okay, I cannot remember.
I also don't know the name.
But later I will tell you.
Yes.
So we were admitted there. Some were transferred to Kenyatta. Those who were seriously injured. The driver was discharged after 3 days from my son. Then I stayed there for 2 weeks. Then I was discharged.
Now after discharging is when you were taken out to the other station?
No, we stayed. I stayed for quite some time at home because I felt like the TSC says it's a sin it had punished me. If I were not in that place, maybe I would have not been involved in that accident. I saw now the current principal I was working with. She came and then she told me I make effort. I see her in her office after 2 weeks, but I had overstayed. Yeah, I had lost interest in teaching, even in the job. So after that I went. I found her with the bishop. I don't know whether it is the archbishop or the bishop of SCK. By that time it was Bishop Kanuku. So I was cancelled, I was guided, and I felt like going back to
work.
Yes, but in that station, I would see my dead friends every now and then. For example, I used to sit with that Mr. Mulwa here. So the moment I saw just the desk, I would feel that good. Yes. And I opted to be
at home.
No, to be operating from like a house to the classroom, then to the house. I didn't want to be the other teacher because I had thought that I lost my best friends, which was true.
Because of the
They
trauma.
were my best friends, yeah. So see, I talked to the principal and I told him I cannot work here. He was not going to organize my transfer. Then I will go.
Okay.
I will leave the job.
Yes.
Yeah, that's when I was transferred. I was given forms to fill. And
At least
by
there
good
she
luck,
tried.
I was brought to Changoli, which was my
your
choice.
own area.
And my
Oh,
home
it was your choice.
Yeah, in
She
my
did
home
good.
area.
She did so good.
So I would. Like she did it through the guidance of that bishop.
Bishop. Oh.
Then I was brought there in the year 1996. I stayed there up to the year 1997. I taught for 2 years.
In Changoli.
Yeah, then there was this balancing of teachers because some stations had more teachers than others.
Okay.
And especially the urban stations, they had very many teachers, and especially the female teachers.
Okay.
And then the schools,
Rural.
yeah, the rural ones, they had very few teachers. So there was that issue of balance. And in that station, we had 4 biology and agriculture teachers. And there was this rule, last come, first go.
It was sad.
Yeah, and because
And
I
you were
was,
young.
yeah, and because I was the last, then I would go. And going, you were given options, which schools you like to go.
Oh, okay.
So another teacher told me to write. I'd like to go to Ngomeni Secondary School. That ile iko Mwingi. There is a Ngomeni Mwingi.
I didn't know.
Yeah, there is Ngomeni at Mwingi. So he advised me to
go
fill that. No,
yes,
filling of the
fill
forms. Yeah. And then he told me you'll connect it in such a way that I go to Ngomeni, which is at Machakos.
Oh.
And it was neighboring Changoli.
Changoli.
So when I did that, you were given room to defend yourself.
Yes.
So I went there, and then
To the one in Mwingi now.
not in Mwingi. I filled the forms. Then I went to Nairobi.
To Nairobi. Oh.
Yeah, when I got the letter.
Okay.
To be posted there.
Yes.
Then I told the officer who was in charge that I had filled Ngomeni Secondary in Machakos, not in
Mwingi.
And by those days, there were no problems.
Yes.
She changed. Then I was given a letter to
Ngomeni.
Just a stone throw from
where you are.
Yes.
So it's just.
Yeah. Then I stayed there for long, from 1997 to 2019. That is when now I came to Mekuin Secondary School.
Okay. You stayed there for long?
Yeah, for long. I stayed there for long.
So
but I was very comfortable because I was operating at home. The working conditions were quite favorable.
Yes. So which working conditions these which are very favorable you want to know? Also the viewers want to know.
One, the administrators I had met before I was transferred to this place were too humane. Yeah, they were too. Some were just like mothers and fathers.
Yes.
So you look, the place was just like at home.
Yes.
There were no harassment. We had no problems of transport. You would travel anytime you want. And the other small matters, welfare matters of the teachers, you are taken care of.
Like which welfare? It's for teachers, this and so. You want to know as teachers,
For example, let me talk of the general welfare, about the welfare of the teachers. We had a very strong organization which was known as Government Welfare Association.
Yes.
And that one was through initiative of of that principal, the principal of them, where he organized us in such a way that although she was not the chair, but through the chair she would organize very many things. We raised a lot of money. We used to contribute 20 bob per day. Only 20 shillings per day. So per week on Friday, you should have contributed 100 shillings. That kit grew up to 476,000. Okay, there are those who would contribute more and not less than 20. And I did not see any member of staff who could not afford. And then by that time, we started borrowing the money.
Yes.
Then we pay through interest. And it grew to a very big organization.
Yes.
And after she left, then there came another one.
Yes.
Who was not for the welfare.
Okay.
She started giving people transfers. Then it died. We tried to revive it, but it was not possible because we have some people who were taken to Kitui, others Makueni, others to their own places like Murang.
Yes.
So it died. I give credit to that lady.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other issue was when one had a problem. For example, you may have a sick person, or you might be sick yourself. You would see the whole group, not only bringing you money, but to say, Paul, something which I have not seen here.
Yes.
Somebody might be sick. He or she goes, comes back after she has healed, or he has healed.
Yes.
So there was a very big difference between that school and this one in terms of the welfare.
Yes.
Yes.
That is a good welfare. So, hey, that was good. That means you were together if you were contributing.
We were together.
Yeah?
Even to get that money. And let's say that in December, can we take ourselves to Mombasa because the money is there?
Yes.
Yeah. Not school this time. No
Yes.
school issue. And like a school was more, I had no school bus, so we'd go getting from Changoli, from Momboni, and we go to Mombasa.
True.
Yeah, we enjoy ourselves and then steam up and then come back. Yeah.
So we were talking about how your welfare was good at Ngomeni. So Ngomeni you stayed for long, right?
Since 97 up to 2019. See, I came here in 2019.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was good.
Yeah.
So as a teacher, you can maybe tell us a student who was really exceptional in that station one time. Exceptional in academics based.
Okay.
So that you tell us how he or she studied. It's a mixed school.
No. Oh. You are talking of my first station or this one?
I'm talking about the Ngomeni.
The Ngomeni.
Yes.
So at Ngomeni, we had a student who had less than 200 marks.
Yes.
The entry behavior. I cannot. She was Ellen somebody. I cannot remember the year. And then she was very hardworking. And we appointed her the school head girl. It was a mixed school. And she surprised us. She got a big con. And by the time it was not that easy to score a B.
A B. She was the first.
The first. Majority to score C. So, okay, she ranged in the class of maybe the other big schools.
Hey, you were really happy for her.
We were very happy for her. Then she was admitted in the university to take law. Yeah. Those days when a B was a
B, yes. Yeah. Because now if she had a B and she was taken in law, that means she was really brilliant.
Yes, so she went to the college. She was through. She went to Kenya School of Law. And then she did practice in these senior councils for quite some time. Then she had just opened an office in Narok town. And unfortunately, she had a cancer. She had cancer of the breast, breast cancer. Then she passed on. She was a very hard-working woman.
What exactly did she used to do?
You know, when she had very low marks anyway, and we thought this one I could not. But she told us that before she did the exam, that is now class 8 KCPE, she had very many problems. The mother had died, the father had married another woman, and the stepmother was not that good. So she did the exam and failed. And she knew if I would get a chance in secondary school, she would prove us wrong. And she did it. Yeah. But she was hard working.
She was very hard.
And all through, she was through consultation. Every time you'll see her with teachers consulting. Then because she became the best in the school, she earned a lot of respect from the other
students.
And also teachers. And we encouraged her, and she did marvelous.
Yeah, that is wonderful. So she just used to study just like any other student?
Yes, just like any other student. Just like here.
Yes.
Yeah, we would encourage her. She would always seek advice from the teachers. When she had social problems, for example, from home, she would tell maybe the female teachers, and they would guide and counsel her.
Yes.
And then she did well.
Hey, that is wonderful. Do you have any other student?
No. The others were negative extremes.
Yes, you can give just one example so that we
Like today I was telling the principal that we had a guy. He was nicknamed Msafiri by the other students.
Yes.
Because he was talking nitasafiri na msichana, nitasafiri na bangi, nitasafiri na changa. By that area had a lot of changa.
Yes.
So you'd talk of that. And then one day we lost a student. It was a day school.
Yes.
So we lost a student. And during the burial day, that boy was drunk. When we went to attend the burial, the boy was there. He had already gone, he had already done his exam. So he was so drunk and disorderly.
So now he had completed the KCSE.
The KCSE,
so
and he failed.
He failed.
And then he got into drunks seriously.
Yes.
So he was disturbing people in that burial or whatever. Then I confronted him. I just asked him, I wasted my 4 years teaching you, and then you misbehave like this. He's drunk, abusing people, fag language, and all that. Then he said, I have heard, if it were not for Mr. Mutunga, I would have done worse things here. But let me go. And then he abused them. He left. So one day, as I was boarding Amadri in the stage, the guy was there, dead drunk. He was sleeping just beside the Matatu stage. Then when he saw me, I was boarding a Matatu. I would not talk to him. Then he said that this teacher, Mr. Mutunga, told me and I refused to hear. All these problems I'm having is because of being a hardcore. I did not talk to him. To stage.
Yeah.
Then I went. I boarded a matatu then.
That's how did you feel? Oh, sorry, then?
I was so sorry. Then after that, I tend to think experience is the best teacher.
Yes.
That guy went to Kekomba. Then he was employed by those people who work there.
Yes.
And he made a mistake. He was given money to go for materials,
Yes.
and he disappeared.
Yes.
So that trader actually followed him, and he was caught. He was taken to court. He was jailed for 6 months. 6 months. Then after that, he was released. When he was released, I met him. And he told me, now I'm a very new person, I've improved, and I would like you to give me time to come and talk to your students. So I went and organized with the Department of Guidance and Counseling in the school. When the guy came, we gave them experience. He would cry, and now he's a pastor. Some parts, I don't know which part of Kitui. Yeah, he's married, he got a very good family, he's doing well.
You see?
Yeah, and then he was regretting why he did not listen to teachers. He was not thick, would have done very well, and the life would be better than it is now.
Yes.
Yes. So that is the experience of the extremes.
Yes, that was an extreme. But at the end of the day, you see, even when it was his worst, he remembered you and what you had told him. That's why when he went to jail, he had to transform.
To transform.
So whatever you were telling him when you were guiding him, now it was the time to click. Hey, thank God it has a good ending.
It has
a very good ending. So it's still in the same station. Were they performing well, or you found when the academics were very low and then you helped them to improve, or what was happening?
Okay, when I went there in 1997, the performance was very, very poor.
Yes.
You know, it was just a day school, and where it is located, the community, we have very many social problems. Like the area is known for drugs, these illicit beers, and also prostitution because of poverty. So it was not easy to maintain these students.
Yes.
Some would involve themselves in trafficking those drugs, not necessarily in the school, but the nearby markets. And they were being sent by the parents so that they get something to do what? To eat.
Yes.
So most of them were not for education. Then the parents also supported their kids, and especially the females, to practice prostitution so that they earn something. So when you are telling students that you see drinking is not good for students, prostitution or relationships, to them that was nonsense.
Yes.
And the school was surrounded by changandens.
Yes.
Because I remember there's a time one teacher was used to taking that stuff.
Yes.
And they used not to have a lot of money.
Yes.